Good morning. I'm Rosemary DiTrolio, and you're listening to The Lightwalker's Path. It's a place to develop new insights, find your soul's purpose, hear enlightening conversation, and be inspired. Good morning. This is Rosemary, and I'm your host of The Lightwalker's Path Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary. We're streaming live 10 a.m. Eastern on many streaming platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and other places too. You can text from either YouTube or Facebook Live, and then see the review of the show on my page in the archive. But I do hope you listen live because that's so exciting for us. And please, if you want to enter in the chat or call, that's great too. So it's wonderful to see everybody. Today I have a wonderful guest named Allison, and her full name is Allison Smith Martin. She's from Arizona. She's an animal specialist for animal communication, pet grief support, and she's an energy healer. And I'd like to welcome Allison to the show now. Hi, Hi Allison.
Hi, Rosemary. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm excited to meet you on this bright and shiny early time for you. It's 10 a.m. here. I know you're up at the crack of dawn by you, so I really appreciate your time. So
Love it.
yeah, I'm interested. I'm so interested in what you do. So I know that you love your animals like we do. So I'd like you just to tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, I've been working with pets and their people for over 25 years. Currently, yes, I am an animal communicator, which means I help people understand what their animals are thinking and feeling and needing, resolve any issues. We also communicate with pets in spirit. And I offer energy healing. Yes, so I've created I started off with Reiki for animals, and then I moved into my own blend through the years of energy therapy, um, using specifically crystals. So I fell in love with crystals years and years ago, just their magical therapy healing abilities. And pet grief has just been a big part of my life, unfortunately. And so helping people with through the loss of their beloved animal family has been something very special to me, and I've created a program specifically for that. And I also teach animal communication and teach a few other holistic care things. So my
That's
whole world is animals,
animals.
and or animals.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So a couple things there. So I'm a Reiki master teacher. And I know that once you start on this path, your psychic gifts open. One of my other friends is also an animal communicator and does the Reiki. But I know that once you're using this energy, like other stuff opens to a great deal. So when you first started learning animal Reiki, did you find that soon after you were able to connect with pets, or was it something you were always able to kind of do but didn't know you were doing it? Or what happened with the animal communication part for you?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think looking back, it was certainly a deep connection that now I see I always had. However, I truly believe everybody has the natural intuitive ability to learn to communicate with animals. We really do. We need to have that intention in our heart and a few other things. And it happened that I was learning at animal Reiki and animal communication. I knew I wanted to study animal communication professionally. So I was learning them both at the same time,
Oh,
basically. And so that was really fun. But what I have found is that being on this path of animal communication has opened up a completely new world for me. All of these beautiful modalities are connected, and one leads to another, right? Then the crystals came into my life, and then, okay, I also do Healing Touch for Animals, which is a really wonderful program. And yeah, it's just amazing what opens up, I think.
yes, yeah, I believe that too, because once you're on this path, other things start to unlock, and once you value it, it opens even further. So that's really interesting. So I know, we all experience grief. We love our pets, and they do cross over. We always live longer than them, and we had a loss this last year, we lost one of our beloved animals that my husband rescued, and she was an angel. This dog was an absolute angel, and he was heartbroken, like grief stricken for quite a while. So that's why we got Tina, our Bichon poodle, who's just a clown. She's hysterical, and she brings back like the happiness and the joy in our home. And then we also have a very old cockapoo who she lives to eat, and that's all she can do. She can't see, can't hear. She has accidents all the time, but she's still,
Oh,
still plugging away there.
it's
So
wonderful. Oh,
yeah, yeah. So, we've experienced loss with our pets too. And I know it's a beautiful thing that you offer a healing service for pet owners, because that's probably the worst part when you have a loved pet, to let them go.
oh,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And I have so many clients that reach out to me as well. Is it time? Is my, dog, cat, whomever, are they ready to go? How are they feeling about this? And yeah, there's so much that we can do in this work, in this realm of supporting the people and their animals while the animals are still living, and then certainly after they have passed. So yeah, it
Yeah.
brings a lot of peace and comfort.
I really think that the animals are more ready to go than we're ready to let them go. And I think sometimes people will hang on, and the animal is trying to help us. So they stay around because they don't want to hurt mommy and daddy, but they might be ready to go before we're ready to let them go. And I think that's something that I've found with people I've met through the years too. Uh, you know,
Mhm.
you don't want to prolong an animal and have it be in discomfort and pain. And I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely, Rosemary. Gosh, there's so much there. Um, yes, an animal will definitely hold on for us. And what can happen is because telepathy, animal communication, intuitive interspecies communication, all of the different words that we have for this work is that is their natural language. That's how they're communicating with each other, in addition to body language, of course, and some few other things. But mainly, it's telepathy throughout the species, and they are able to understand our thoughts and our feelings, of course, because that's
Yes.
only natural for them. So if we're saying, I'm ready to let you go, but inside we're really not. Inside we're falling apart. And they understand that. They know that. They're picking up on that. And so they're getting a mixed message.
Yes. Yes.
And it can be really important to be honest with them. I just worked with a client yesterday on this to say, I will be okay. Yes,
Mm,
I will probably fall apart for a while, but I will be okay. And
mhm,
I want to release you when you are ready. So
mhm,
sometimes I think we have to feel like we may hide our feelings from our
mhm.
animal
So
family, but we can't hide them. They know exactly how we're feeling. And when we hide them, that causes confusion for
yes,
them and can even
yeah,
cause some anxiety and things like that. So it's really best to have
yeah,
open, honest conversations with them.
yeah, I agree. I also feel, and this is something that, I live in a very old house, and when I first moved in, I felt like a cat jumping on my bed. And I knew we didn't have a cat at the time. So I thought it was a spirit cat that was kind of visiting. But do you feel that our animals visit us when they're on the other side? Do you believe that they stop in? And I believe my dog's been around, like checking on the new ones, and I've always kind of felt that. Do you have that understanding or that belief?
Oh, completely. Yes, absolutely they do. And
Mm,
whether we are realizing it or not, there could be a couple of different things. Sometimes we may be so blocked, we're in so much pain that and
mhm.
I've had that happen myself as an animal communicator. I've had to reach out to animal communication friends and say, help, I can't connect. I'm in
Yeah,
such a deep state of grief. So that can
yeah,
be one where they are still, they're right there with us, but we can't feel it, can't see it because we're hurting so badly. Or we may discount or we may negate, oh,
hmm
I think I'm getting these signs, but nah, I'm probably just making that up. That's not. So then
hmm
yeah, there they are, but we're not understanding it or feeling it. So absolutely, they what I find so often is their energy, of course. when they're in spirit can be anywhere at
Hmm.
all. And
Yeah.
it does circle back to us. And is I believe most often from what I hear from the animals and the clients that I'm working with is a part of that energy comes and just comes right back and stays, right? It never just completely goes away. It goes
Yeah.
off doing what it needs to kind of do and
Yeah.
then comes back. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. When I lost our golden several years ago, I remember I had a dream of her, and she sent this like intense beam of love to my heart. And then she was standing outside of a dog cage, and she said, "I'm coming back." And she pointed to the little dog that was in the crate. And we had gotten a dog, I swear it was the one that's the old cockapoo now. The coloring was exactly the same, completely different breed, but she had the same white streak in her hair. It came right up to me. And I really felt that part of that other animal's soul kind of like hijacked into the one we have now to a certain extent. So, yeah, I don't know, but I always felt like that was part of our other dog that hijacked into this new one we had.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. I love hearing stories about that because that's absolutely possible. We have that now with a couple of our dogs, and
mhm.
the other dogs that have passed into spirit have popped into these boys, and it's
Mhm.
so clear. You can not only see some of it, but you also feel it. My husband does as well. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
Riley's pocket. Here's Riley, right?
Oh,
And our
yeah.
dog Oliver, and yeah, it's really fun to see that and to witness that. And we don't know how does that happen, right? We talk about the whole, reincarnation's a whole another hour-long topic, right? But yes, I do. They absolutely can come back as part, and I see the popping in, not there all the
Yeah.
time, or they could, reincarnate fully, or on and on. There's all kinds of magic that happens.
Yeah, I've had weird things. I've done angel readings since '93, and occasionally a pet will pop in to someone's reading. It's not often, but occasionally it will. And like I had one woman who had a horse in a past life, and it came back as a very powerful dog in this lifetime. And it
Oh,
changed species. I'm like, that's really weird. I didn't know that could happen. But apparently, that's something that an animal can choose to do if
mhm.
it wants to be closer to a human. So I thought that was interesting too. That was something like, oh, that was neat. I learned that a while ago.
Yes, yes, I've seen that as well, and it's fascinating.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or get a cat that was a dog. My cat would speak dog, so they were raised together, and my cat would growl and speak to the dog, and then the dogs would back off. She never hurt the dog, never scratched the dog, but she acted like a dog, and it was crazy because she knew how to
Oh,
communicate with these two, with my dogs,
yeah.
and
Oh, that's
yeah,
adorable.
another weird thing.
Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
that's
okay.
fun.
So, let me just check the time. Okay. So, what type of things do most animals want their pet owners to know? Is there
Hmm.
like a thread of something you found is common that an animal would say to mom or dad, "This is what I want you to know."
Oh, yes, yes. So often it is, or the person's question might be that exactly what do they need, or
Hmm.
what can I do that I'm not, and mostly without a doubt, they just want to be with us,
Yes.
be,
Yes.
and
Yes.
not with us having any distractions or anything like that. And it doesn't have to be a long, lengthy, 30 minutes a day or anything. It's like
Yeah.
just take a few minutes and
Yes.
simply be, let's just share this love that we have for each other. And it's the biggest gift that we can give our animal family who can continuously giving us that unconditional love,
They really
is just
do.
to simply
Yes.
be with them.
Yes.
And of course, in doing that, it's also them again giving back to us. Because when we
Mm,
think of that peace in our heart, that calm, all of the physical and emotional and mental, everything, all of that just being with our animals does for us as well.
mhm.
It's just such a huge benefit. So I think that's probably the top one.
I
Mhm.
believe. So I'll share after the break. I'm going to share a story about my cat and how the cat helped me. We're going to have a sponsor break. This is the Lightwalker's Path, and my guest today is Allison Animal, Allison Smith Martin, Animal Communicator. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Lightwalker's Path. Grow your spirit with Rosemary, and my guest from the Animal Soul Connection. This is Allison Smith Martin, and we've been talking about the connection with animals and our heart and the love they give us. And before break, I was saying that I would share something about the cat that I had. So years ago, my husband rescued a cat because he was working at the park at the time. And this little cat was very brave and it came out with all its sisters. And we adopted out all the other cats and we kept the one Jay, the little tabby. And Jay was kind of fearless and she would always like sleep on my neck at night. And that year, my father was also dying. So the cat would sleep on me here and then go like this to my hair, like my mother did, when I was a little girl, and she would gently do that. As this cat got older, whenever I had a hot flash or I felt sick, she would jump on me. And she would stay there till my body cooled and then she'd jump off. If I was sad or my husband was sad, she would run in from whatever room she was in and jump on us and stay on our heart center until we felt better. And she was just an amazing cat. That's the one that spoke dog, and was just amazing with our dogs as well, and never hurt them, never scratched anyone. It was a very sweet cat. So yeah, I was very sad when I had to let her go, but we had her for a long time. So that's my cat story.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. What a wonderful spirit. Oh my goodness. And I imagine
Yes.
you continue to feel her now or see
I
her or some
I
some
do. I have, and I've dreamt of her a couple times. The other weird thing that happens, I've always had this weird connection with animals. So they'll come, like I've had a bird I pet on top of the head, bumblebees, hawks, all kinds of weird things with animals. But we also get a lot of animals that have stopped at my house that were lost. They would just come to my door and they would say, "Okay, I don't know where I am,"
that's
and we
perfect.
would help them or find their owner or call somebody. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's been funny with the animal thing.
that's so cool. They can sense that energy, of course they
Yeah,
can. So
yeah,
I feel that they're drawn then to you in that way,
yeah,
no doubt.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
yeah. So as far as the crystals, so I also have a cool connection with crystals when I'm doing the Reiki and when I work on clients. So when you're doing pet work, are you working virtually or are you in someone's home, or do you do both?
Generally, generally virtually. I work with clients all over the world.
Hmm.
I do sessions in person,
Okay.
but not as often.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's about sending that crystal energy. Yeah,
Yeah, I
virtually.
found the same thing, and I think people have to wrap their minds around that energy does travel. And I know we know this as Reiki people because we can send energy. You have that entrainment of the molecules of both and the thought process, etc. But
Mhm.
it's really interesting that we can connect with a pet in that way. So my question is, are you a visual person? Because I know my husband has a really easy, like he's real visual, so like he had an easier time like telling the dog what he wanted through his mind than at first me till I practiced that skill. Are you a
Mhm.
visual person or are you using your other skills to
I,
connect?
I think all of when we talk about the clairs, right? I think all of them, most of them certainly. I am quite visual, yes. So when
Okay.
I am doing a session, whether it's energy or animal communication, I do see a lot of things in my mind's eye, but I also have a lot of just that simple knowing feeling, right? So
Right.
and then I also will receive words, sentences. I
Hmm.
receive sometimes physical or emotional sensations in my body from an
Yes.
animal.
Yes. So
Mhm.
you're clear as
So
well.
it's yes, yeah. So it's kind of you know, bits and pieces. And here I don't want to get off on this track if we're not going down this track.
That's
But
fine.
what I found to be fascinating is animals in an animal communication session. I've had them adapt their way of communicating that fits their person best.
That makes
So that's
sense.
what it's so fascinating. Say I am more visual, and maybe an animal is sending me a lot of visual signs, and I'm sharing that, the things that I'm seeing. Maybe the person's just having a little bit of trouble
Yeah.
Just getting into the groove of the whole thing. Then I'll
Yeah.
have an animal switch up and start sending more words and sentences. Let's say the person's very visual, or not verbal,
Right.
and
Verbal.
then it's clicking. Like,
Yeah.
wow, this animal just completely changed their communication style to match what their person needs. I
Right.
just find that fascinating.
Yeah. Do you find that their voices sound different to you? Like when you're hearing, let's say, one dog or a cat, are their voices like sounding different to your ear or to your insight? Or do you just catch more of a personality idea?
Yeah, so for me, it's more of a personality. I have had students though that that do have more of the hearing, or
Mm,
will like I had someone recently like this the dog I'm hearing like an old man's voice and
yeah.
kind of a younger dog,
Yeah.
and which I think is really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a reading I did years ago. A woman had a dog she loved, and she named the dog Pissy. And the dog was so incensed. And the dog said to me, I am not Pissy. I am a royal dog. And it wanted this like very grandiose name. And it said, please tell mother to call me this instead of that. And I just cracked up and I'm like, what's the deal with your dog? And she says, my dog always thinks it's like the head of the household kind of dog. And I said, well,
Mhm.
the dog's very incensed with this name you're calling it. So I thought that was very funny. Every once in a while, I'll get like a weird one like that. Someone will come in that when I'm doing a reading, an angel reading, and then an animal.
Oh,
I'm like, who are you? What are you doing here?
oh, that's fun. Isn't that, yeah, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah, they do have can have very strong opinions on their names. Absolutely. I've had
yeah.
that happen many times. Like, I do not like my name, or sometimes the client will say, do they like their name? And then sometimes you make a name change and it makes a huge difference.
Oh, I
Hmm.
bet. I bet. Yeah, I found too, like, for me, when you have a pet, they'll kind of tell you what name feels right. Like when I had my dog, she was Tiny Tina, and she's got a big personality, but she's a little dog, and she's like very proud, and that's the personality. And my other one is a diva, the old cockapoo. She's a diva. Everything's her way. We are her royal subjects. That's really how her personality is, and like she's always been like that since she's been little, and
Oh, that's
it's
darling.
they're so different.
They are. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
I saw a picture with you with some horses. Do you own horses?
I
Or would you work?
do.
How many?
I yes, I have two horses and two goats and five dogs.
Oh, look at you. Wow.
I
You have the
know.
menagerie.
Yes,
You
yes.
would.
So grateful. Yes, of course. But yeah, I've been a lifelong horse lover since I was a little girl. One of those one of those
Yeah.
girls. Horses, horses, horses.
Yeah.
And yeah, just so grateful to have them. I've got a beautiful Palomino gelding named Snap, and a beautiful gray rescue mare that I named Audrey, after Audrey Hepburn. She's got a little bit of
Oh,
Arab in her, so she has a longer neck and those big
yeah.
eyes, and the long eyelashes.
Yeah.
So I named Audrey
Oh,
Hepburn.
that's
So
cool. That's cool.
yeah.
It's funny. I the first time I was ever on a horse, I was probably in my mid 30s, and I was always afraid to get on a horse. So I said, "All right, I have to learn this year how to get on a horse." So I did like a little trail ride, and don't you know, the dog, I believe that they read your energy, right? So I'm going down the trail, and all of a sudden it turns and starts running the other way, and I had to like say no, and I had to kind of direct the horse. So I was scared to death because I had never been on a horse
I
before.
would
Trying
imagine.
to trying to take
Yeah.
off on me, but it worked. Then it's like, oh, okay, all right, I can't put one over on her, so she started walking nicely. But
Uh-huh. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
so yeah, but I'm not really a horse rider. My sister-in-laws both love horses. My husband loves horses. They're comfortable on them. In New Jersey, you wouldn't think, but there's horses in New Jersey. You know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think they're probably one of the biggest teachers in being present,
Yeah,
without a doubt. Because we could be with our dogs and cats and whomever, think that we're being present, but we
yeah,
can still have little thought. We might be thinking about something else, whatever it is. But when we're out with horses for our safety and for theirs, we really need to be fully present.
yeah,
And that is such a gift, again, that they are giving us, because first of all, just to be in my mind, to be in a horse's energy in their presence is magic. Because they just have this huge energy field, first of all. But
Hmm.
yeah, they're amazing.
We had a beautiful horse that lived down the road from me, and whenever I'd walk the dogs, or if I would walk past, she would come there, and she was so gentle. She'd let you pet her on the face and tussle her hair, and she was just a very sweet dog. I call it a dog, a very sweet
Yeah, yeah.
horse. And
Yes.
yeah, we loved her. And then my dogs would go up. I had my grandkids. They would like go up and say hi to the horse, and it was just a very sweet horse. But I find, I guess too, they all have very unique personalities, just like dogs and cats do. So
Oh,
that was a gentle
totally.
natured animal. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Fascinating.
Okay, so I have a question because this is an issue I have with my dogs. I thought I would ask you. My dog is old, and she doesn't always know when she has to go to the bathroom, so she's having a lot of accidents.
Mhm.
Is this something that for an older dog, um, it could be kind of guided, or is it just a part of having an older dog? I'm just curious because we've tried everything.
Yeah, you mean as far as
Accidents, she's accidents,
yeah,
certain.
so what could you do to prevent the accidents, you mean? Or
Is there a way, or is it just because she's old? So I mean, I don't know.
yeah, and she's been to what does your veterinarian say? Is it just kind of old age, bladder,
They say
wall?
senior sundown, and that she has that like little the elevator is not reaching the
Oh,
top all the time.
yeah, she's got some
That's what I
cognitive
think it is.
yeah, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that is that's tough. I think uh,
Mm,
yeah, I think the best that we can do at that point is to just simply support them with love and, tell her that it's okay and to
yeah.
just kind of, as we would maybe a human too, just this is how it is. And,
Yes.
I love you unconditionally and
Mm.
just keep on
So
cleaning up the accidents and
that's what we've been doing. And it's
yeah,
it's funny because the little one will like she'll come up and get me like Sky did something, and then we'd run down and
mhm,
we'd clean it. But the little one in the morning, the little one sleeps in our bed. She'll run down, she'll wake Sky up, and then they both go outside. And that's usually the second time that Sky will usually go middle of the night, but the second time she'll go outside. But then later in the day, sometimes she forgets. So
yeah,
we've been just
yeah, that's
struggling
tough
with it a little
too.
bit.
With the cognitive thing, if that's just not, as you said, it's not connecting,
Yeah,
and she is
yeah,
is urinating because she has to go. It's so
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Convenient. All right, we're coming up on another sponsor break, so I'm gonna just we're gonna come back in about a minute or two. So I hope our listeners stay with us and text us. We'd love to hear. Okay, we'll be right back. This is the Lightwalker's Path. See you in a minute. Welcome back. This is the Lightwalker's Path. Grow your spirit with Rosemary, and my wonderful guest is from Arizona. Her name is Allison Smith Martin. Animal Soul Connection, and we were talking about the connection between animals and us and how we communicate with them. And our last discussion was on the power of horses, of courses, and how they give love to us and how they're very present with the now, right? Okay. So I will ask you, what are some of the unique ways that you connect with your clients or with pets? What are some of the unique things that or experiences you've had connecting with animals or their pet owners?
Hmm, neat. Gosh, I think it's really so much about coming from the heart and listening.
Mm-hmm.
Really, this is I found animal communication to be um, more even than I had expected. As
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this for years, what I'm finding is it truly is. I look at animal communication. Well, first of all, I view it as a very sacred experience. These are sentient beings that are
Mm-hmm.
choosing to have a conversation with us. And to me, that's a really big deal. They do not have to do this, they have free will. And first of all, for them to even want to do this, I think is quite remarkable. And to always approach these communications, these conversations with them with humility and respect
Mm-hmm.
for who they are. There's a wonderful quote. I'm actually going to grab it because I'm thinking that I'm going to forget it if I don't do it right. But I want to just read this real quickly. So this is by Charles Littleleaf, and it
Mm,
is: animals are not just living things; they are beings with lives, unique individuals with personality traits, emotional profiles, and a library of knowledge built on experience. What you are witnessing is not just biology, but a biography.
love that. That's
I
awesome.
Isn't that beautiful? To me,
Yes.
that sums up everything that I feel about animal
Yeah.
communication.
Yes. I love that. So
Yeah.
another strange thing I wanted to share is that I believe that we call animals in. So one of my weird experiences, I was a school teacher for 32 years, and I was teaching my third grade students. I'm like, oh, snakes are our friends. Now, I'm terrified of snakes, right? Well, not terrified. I just don't like them, right? And I'm like, snakes are our friends. They're wonderful. So the next day in my kitchen, I saw my cat and her head's going like this. And I'm like, uh-oh. We actually had a snake come from the bottom of our home. It's an old house, underneath the hole underneath my oven, and it was sneaking out to see me. And I know it's because I talked about that darn snake the day
Uh-huh.
before. So my husband captured it, sent it outside. The next day, another snake came in. And, the cat, again, the head was like this. So he got rid of that. We sealed up all the holes. I'm like, darn it, I mentioned the snake. The other thing that happened, I have a garden, and I have Fred and his family that would move into my garden every spring. So, like, Fred would sit there curled up, and I'd go, Fred, I'm terrified of you. Don't be around when I'm weeding. You could stay here. I don't want to see you. So, eventually, Fred moved out of the way, but like it's funny because I don't like snakes at all. I know they have a purpose. They're wonderful because they help us, but they give me the creeps. So, do you have any work with like lizards, snakes, or any of those kind of critters that you've
Oh God,
experienced?
yeah, absolutely. I love that. Yeah, of course, Arizona.
Oh yes,
Oh
yes.
boy, so we have, rattlesnakes and
Uh,
we've got it all, the Gila
yeah,
monsters and tarantulas and the various lizards and all sorts of creatures here.
yeah, yeah.
And yes, so I have communicated with them. Absolutely. It's no different, really. So it's no different
Uh,
communicating with animals in the wild compared to our domestic animals. I've had conversations with really lovely praying mantis years ago, some dragonflies. Certainly, we have these darling little, I think they're some sort of ring necked lizard gecko. I don't know what they are. And they get to maybe, I don't know, like that big or so. And they hang out in the garage and they're so friendly. So, yes, I talk to them. And of course, then we have lots of birds and the quail. And I talk to, yeah,
uh,
so I'm always talking to everybody. And also, I will try to talk to the snakes as well and say, um, just you can be out front on our, we have some property, of course, you can be out front. That's your domain. That's totally fine. But don't come in the yard. We do not kill them, but we do have to call the fire department to come and
yeah,
retrieve the rattlesnake if it's in
uh,
the backyard, and then they relocate it miles away so that it doesn't come back to this area. But anyway, it's yeah. So there's so much that we can do with that as far as for having creatures, just like you did with the gardener snake. That's perfect.
mm,
To say, please don't come in this area while I'm weeding. I understand that, you know.
mm, mm,
And I love that you're saying you're thinking about something, right? And then they show up. We just had that happen a
uh,
couple nights ago. My husband said, "God," and the tarantulas are harmless, right? So we're not
uh,
bothered by tarantulas at
uh,
all. They're lovely and they're absolutely fine. But he said, "Gosh, we haven't seen any tarantulas yet this year." And then sure enough, of course, the next night there's a tarantula. Last night there was one on the
uh,
front porch. So here they are. You start
go.
to
You
put
asked for it,
that out
right?
there. Yeah, you put that out there. So yeah, it's fun though to see that happen because to me that's such a clear connection of
Yes,
uh, of our oneness with nature. It's not a
absolutely.
coincidence in
No.
my no, not at all.
I have this other thing with spiders. I used to play with spiders when I was a kid. I never knew they could even bite. I just like spiders. I think they're cool. So in my home, whenever I'm writing a new book, all the spiders come. I get webs everywhere. They'd be on every window of my house. They'd be on my car windows. They'd be in my mailbox. It would like because they're a sign of creation and storytelling. And it was so funny because every time I start a book, the spiders show up and they start weaving on all my windows.
Oh,
They're gorgeous webs, they're beautiful. But the weird thing was, even on my car, like in the mirrors, perfect circles on my car windows. I'm like, that's so strange. And as soon as the book was almost done, that was it. I wouldn't see him again.
wow,
And
what a beautiful gift.
it's happened so many times. It was just really strange. But I
Oh,
loved it. Like, okay, they want me to continue to create. I'm doing it.
yes. Yes, there's so much that we can learn from the wild animal species. Yes, I feel they're
Yeah.
always here. We can learn. They're
Yeah.
teaching us if we just stop and pay attention.
Yeah. I believe too, like there's such a connection with like a native wisdom and the energy. Like when you see an animal like a fox, it's kind of telling you to be stealthy or to watch yourself. And like I found this thing with animals that they'll show themselves to kind of give you messages too. The
Oh,
wild animals.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite book is by Ted Andrews, The Animals Speak
Yes.
book.
Yes.
I love that. I'm always referring. So we have, road runners here and just, oh, I don't know, all kinds of wonderful creatures. But once I start seeing them a little bit more, fairly often, I'm like, oh, okay, yep, I'm going to stop and look that up. And
Yes.
something really remarkable with elephants. I'll share
Yeah.
quickly. Uh, I was outside and I saw three different times a very clear elephant in the clouds. So this is our
Oh,
time of year where we have the
yes.
monsoon. We've got the big thunderheads and things. Normally
Yeah.
we don't have any clouds hardly. It's just sunny every day. But so we have these beautiful big billowy clouds. It was in the afternoon, and within the span of probably about an hour, I saw three different, very clear elephant clouds. And so, of course, I came in and looked up elephants, right? That was a very clear sign. And it was absolutely completely spot on for something that I'm thinking of
Yes.
doing. So I was like, I had to write that all down in my journal, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, this is wild. So,
Isn't
yeah.
that like the remover of obstacles? Is that what an elephant would be?
A bit. So that is also kind of going into the one of the Hindu gods of Ganesha, who
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
yes, yeah. Actually, have wonderful Ganesha oracle cards that I absolutely love. So I also pulled pulled a couple of
Yeah.
those too. I'm like, wow, this was really huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also about really utilizing your senses for
Mhm.
the element and looking at things in a sensory way and being able to discern. And yes, I'm very strongly considering studying aromatherapy, becoming certified in that. And it
Yeah.
actually said in the Animal Speak book, no joke, aromatherapy should be studied.
Yes. Yes.
And
Love
I
that.
was I was out there thinking, okay, what am I doing to bring this in and what
Yes.
is something I really want to do? I was like, okay.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do the Young Living oils. I've been working with those for 30 years, and those
yeah.
are neat. When Jay was getting old, that's the big cat I had. She wouldn't clean herself because she was so overweight. So my friend would come in and she would use like purification oil and a little bit of water, and she'd wipe her down. And
Uh-huh.
her and her friend would like put a towel around Jay so she wouldn't go crazy when they're washing her tush. But we did that for like the last year of her life because she couldn't clean herself, and
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of hard to get a
So fun.
good scrub on her. But
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, the aromatherapy is neat. Do you also garden or no? Because I know it's pretty hot by you. Do you have a garden of any
Right.
kind?
We don't. I wish we did. I mean, we could, but would entail
Hot.
so much more.
Yeah,
From Nebraska originally, where you just, you get a shovel, same New Jersey, right? You dig a
yeah,
hole, you put a plant in it, you give it some water, and it thrives. Here it's a
yeah,
massive production, and so yeah, sadly I don't,
yeah,
but it's possible.
yeah, yeah. But it's okay. You can't do everything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
I'm a
house.
gardener.
Oh yeah, we the chicken coop came with the house that we purchased, and but I have not succumbed to chickens yet because I know that's a whole nother world. And I have
The
so
whole
many friends that have chickens that just love and adore them, and I think it would be such a fun thing to have them. But I have actually had the good sense to say I know I don't have the time to devote to that right now. So.
Yes, yes. I actually had a chicken and a rooster at one time when I moved here because I'm in kind of a rural little town. And the chicken would always go to my neighbor and lay an egg on the porch, and the rooster would always be chasing the darn chicken around. My son called them honey mustard and barbecue because he didn't like them because the rooster used to chase him around the lawn. So
Yeah.
we eventually gave it away. But when I went to the nice farmer, I said I wanted chickens, and of course he's like, "Oh, take that one." You know, that was the rooster because they know it's a rooster one to get rid of it. So we had a chicken and a
Mhm.
rooster for a short time, but it was fun. But I'll tell you, I didn't get one stinking egg from that whole experience, but it was
That's
fun
funny.
for a while. Yeah. So we're coming up on the last sponsor break. So I hope my listeners stay with us. Text us, let us know if you're listening and if you have questions. We'll be right back. Lightwalker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary. Hi, this is Rosemary, the Lightwalker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary, and my guest is Allison Smith Martin, and we're talking about animal connections. And Allison, first thing, if someone wants a reading or wants to get in touch with you, what is your web address or what is the best way to reach you?
Yes, you can visit my website. It's animalsoulconnection.com. You can read all about the services that I provide. You can schedule an animal communication session. You can get in touch for energy sessions as well there. Yeah, again, read everything a little bit more about what I do. You can also email me. It's Allison, ALISON, at animalsoulconnection.com. And if you visit my website, you'll see on the very top, there's a place where you can just pop in your email address, and then you will receive my free How to Talk with Your Pets guide, which
Okay.
will give you an idea of kind of getting started with animal communication. And then I also have a couple of guided meditations that you will receive as well. So would love
Good.
for anybody that's interested to just pop in there and get that free guide. It's I think it can be very helpful for people, a little bit eye-opening for them.
Love that. I also have a page on my website just to let other people know that I have free gifts on there. I have 2 chapters of Divine Messengers, my angel book. I have a free course called Dip Your Toe In, and a couple other little things on the page. So you can also visit rosemaryd.com to check out that. And you can look at my books. And also, I have a page listed on my website with all my guests that I've had on my podcast, including Allison today. So if you have trouble finding it, you can always look there too. Okay, so what are some of the unique things that is special about the way that you work that you want to mention? And the other thing I want to ask you is when you do your service with your connection, if you're working virtually, does the person have to be in front of you, or is this something you can do and then tell the people after? Like, how do you, when you're doing your heart to heart, how do you do it? I was just
Mhm.
curious.
Yes, great question. I'll start with that. With animal communication, I really prefer to work with the person at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, we'll do it on the phone or we can do Zoom. For me, that is absolutely preferable because for many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling into the person's energy as well. They are every bit as much a part of this as is their animal. And that way, this is something, yes, I guess maybe that is, well, it's not unique, but it's the way that I definitely like to work because it's a conversation. This
Right.
is this is a communication. It's a three-way conversation or four-way if there's two people about connecting them with their animals. So I'm here as a bridge of communication, as a translator. So for me, if they're not on that other energetic
Mm-hmm.
end, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
simply communicating with their animal, which I don't mean simply, it's still as important, right? Saying I'm doing that separately and then I email them or something. To me, there's a little something lost.
Mm-hmm.
Just for me. I
Yeah.
love to work with people live.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's really important to do that because then during the communication, they will have new questions and
Mm-hmm.
different insights, and then again, it's a conversation. So that kind
Right.
of role with the energy work, I do that separately, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
the person. I don't need the person there, so I do those separately with the animal, and then I will either email a report, or we can pop on the phone with the person and give them a detailed update. And I take photos of the crystals that I worked with and things like that. And so going kind of back to that, the first part of that question, I think that may be something that feels a bit unique to me. Is I look at this as a conversation. And I have learned through the years to be able to really discern when to ask additional questions and when to go a little bit deeper with some questioning. It's almost sometimes like we're investigating a bit. Okay, so we're learning this. How can we reframe a question to help the animal bring out more information? So really becomes a very robust experience with a lot of detail and information coming from the animal because it's a conversation.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right. That I love that. I know
Yeah.
my rescue pet. She did not want to talk about her past. She says that doesn't matter. It's all about now.
Yep.
Because that's the way they are. That was kind of neat because I think we always feel bad. Oh, the poor animal, but they're like, no, it's about now. It's what you do right now.
Exactly. That's exactly
Love
right.
that.
Yep. Time and time again. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Um, do you have any last words of advice that you would want to tell, that you want to leave our listeners with as far as pets
Oh,
or
absolutely.
pet
Sure.
ownership? Yeah.
Absolutely. I think first of all, be aware that they are able to understand your thoughts and your feelings. So I feel that it's important not to hide things from them. Be
Okay.
open and honest. You can talk with them out loud.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
get
necessary,
that.
right? But you can talk with them in your head. You can send them messages, and also um, the, to be aware that you can send them messages. So let's say you've got a dog that maybe has some separation anxiety, for instance, and they really kind of fall apart when you leave to go to the grocery store. Very simple. Just send them the image in your mind's eye, or you can. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Is you coming back in the door, you're coming home, they're happy, you're happy, everything is fine, and just be aware that you can communicate with them on a very general level as far as sending them information and about what we would like them to do, not what we don't want them to do. So let's
Yes.
see if a
Mm,
cat is scratching on the furniture and they've got a scratching post. Well, we're probably thinking, oh, like he's cute, we're seeing that image of the cat scratching on the side of the sofa. What we need to do is just or just send them that photo, that image of them using their scratching post. It's always
got it.
about what we would like for them to do,
Well,
not what we don't
yeah,
want them to do.
that makes a lot of sense. So thank you so much for being my guest today. I loved hearing what you do. And this is the Lightwalker's Path, and we hope that we both inspired you with some interesting information. Please join next week. I have a pre-recorded session with Maria Heller. She's the mouth that roars, and she's an amazing psychic. So you'll see her next week on the 23rd. And thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. This was wonderful.
All right. Have a great day. I'm your host, Rosemary DiTrolio, and you've been watching and listening to The Lightwalker's Path. Learn about my workshops, sessions, courses, and more at info@rosemaryd.com. My website, rosemaryd.com, Hands of Light by Rosemary. Have a blessed and beautiful day.